I think it's more like the challenge and just having a different interest and a different just a different thing to think about and learn, because I like to be doing many things. So sales is usually one thing. You sell something, someone buys it, that's sales. In market research especially, I feel like I'm part of a bigger process. There's consultancy, there's the quoting stage, there's even knowing how to do project management from start to finish, which I learned at MIS. I was thankful to come into a startup vibe in the UK. And it was just amazing that I could project manage my projects, I could learn every avenue of the business, and then it makes you better at your job because you're not just selling something, you're selling a range of things, and you're understanding where the problems are, you're understanding exactly what they need out of your services. So it's just so much more than sales.
So guys, we are here with Shelley Barber, my friend. You are now the Business Development Director here at PureProfile. It was 5 months ago. I was meant to come and speak to you and do this interview 5 months ago. It's been that long since we've been trying to line this up. Before that you was at Maru, right?
Yeah.
Before that was MIS,
yeah.
Right? How is life in the new role? We'll start there.
Yeah. No, the new role's really good. They welcomed me with open arms. It felt like a really good move at the time, just going back to my quant roots, going back to just general field work, leaving out the tech sales side, and getting back to what I love.
What do you love about the fieldwork side of it?
Do you know what it is? Everyone calls me like an IR wizard, because when I start looking at quotes and things, I'm just always thinking of the best way to do it and how to reach those people. And picking an IR out of thin air and just making it work and just knowing really how to run the project is like the best bit for me. And you can only really do that with quant. You need big numbers, you need hard targets, and
I do a similar thing with even I do quant, right? But similarly, when I'm checking feasibility, it's IR. But then sometimes it surprises you. The IR can be. I had a project that was like IR's. For anyone who doesn't know, incidence rate. So it says, we should probably do that first. Yeah. Incidence rate, the percentage of the population or whatever the sample is that would have that incident. But yeah, it was like 0.007%. Anyway. I checked out your LinkedIn before this interview, right?
Yeah. No, I saw you.
Because you know what I mean. It was like, but I'm trying to remember if it was you. I think it was. There's a company that's not on there that I think was on there before. Didn't you do? Did you work with? Was it Urban Leaf?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. So I took out some of the stuff that's way back when. Just kept the last maybe 5 to 10 years in there. But yeah, Urban Leaf was. I was probably there about 9 months helping them recruit fundraisers, street fundraisers.
So you was doing recruitment there?
Yeah. So
you didn't do the actual fundraising?
No, I went into recruitment way back when. So I used to do financial recruitment. I used to recruit CFOs and things like that. And then just decided I wanted a bit of change of pace. I went and did some charity stuff, and it was fun.
Well, the reason I picked up, so I started in fundraising. I was a street fundraiser.
Oh, okay.
And I saw that when I remember it was ages ago. I saw it. I was like, do we share that? But no.
Yeah.
No, well, you didn't actually get out on the street. I had to
actually go on the street, and that was my interview process. So I had to take people on the street, and I gave them a paperclip, and they had to upgrade it to something else, and then come back with the best thing that they could after an hour. So it was talking to people on the street. I've got a paperclip. Can you swap it for a pen? I've got a pen. Can you swap it for this? Some guy actually came out with a designer handbag. Because this guy had it for his girlfriend or something. And I can't remember how it came about, but. It's
But he didn't swap it to keep it.
No, he got that in the end. He swapped his way up to that. That's how crazy it was. Within an hour, that guy was good.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
So right, so before that then, so you said you was in like high-end recruitment. Where did you start your career? Like what was the first job?
First job, I didn't go to uni, went straight into work. Well, I've been doing sales since I was 9, right? So when I was at school, I used to buy those strawberry laces and apple laces, and I used to braid them together and sell them. So I'd get my mum to buy them for me. I'd sell them for a lot more than what I was paying for them. I'd come back with about £15 every time I did it. Bearing in mind, my mum's probably spent about £1 on these strawberry laces.
That's
So
genius.
I was about 9 years old, and that was the first thing. And I thought, I love this. Like, I'm getting money for this, and I'm creating something. So after that, I started tutoring my neighbour how to read when I was about 12. And then after that, I went to boarding school, and I was cleaning cars for like the people that lived there, like the staff, and just making money wherever I could. So sales was always the goal. It was always the natural thing.
You're a hustler, Jesus.
So I went into investment sales pretty early, and I was working for a big insurance company. And just went from there, just went from investment sales into trading, into financial services. Then I went into financial recruitment. Then I went into working for a website, so designing packages and selling those for buy a gift, so like gift experiences.
Yeah.
And then all that kind of pieced together is kind of market research. It's numbers, it's people, it's marketing, it's a bit of everything. So
I wasn't expecting such a range.
There's been a few.
What is it about you that we were talking about this just before off camera about people who like stay in a job for 20 years or stay in one company for 20 years. What is it about you that makes you like? Did you get bored easy or?
I think it's more like the challenge and just having a different interest and a different just a different thing to think about and learn, because I like to be doing many things. So sales is usually one thing. You sell something, someone buys it, that's sales. In market research especially, I feel like I'm part of a bigger process. There's consultancy, there's the quoting stage, there's even knowing how to do project management from start to finish, which I learned at MIS. I was thankful to come into a startup vibe in the UK. And it was just amazing that I could project manage my projects, I could learn every avenue of the business, and then it makes you better at your job because you're not just selling something, you're selling a range of things, and you're understanding where the problems are, you're understanding exactly what they need out of your services. So it's just so much more than sales.
I agree with that. When you actually know what you're talking about, you're not selling, you're consulting.
Yeah.
I agree with that. So what MIS Maiden Surveys was entry point into the industry.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
So everyone I've spoken to has said the same thing. They fell into it.
Oh, you're going to do the same thing.
Well, honestly, who goes to school and goes, I want to work in market research? I don't know anyone. Well, there might be some.
I met
but
2.
Yeah, out of how many hundreds? I just think it's one of those things you kind of don't really think about it too much, don't really know too much about it, unless maybe you have your own business or you know something about that side where you have to do market research to get a proposal together, that kind of thing. But I never really thought about it. You do surveys, when you take a train or something, didn't think about where those surveys came from, anything like that.
Yeah, I like when you watch Apprentice, for example, I knew what market research was, but I didn't know it was an industry.
No.
It was just like a thing. It's like a thing
job.
you do. Yeah.
So I was just looking for a sales manager role in North London, certain kind of areas that I could get to from Hertfordshire on the train, something really easy like that. Didn't really care what it was in because I just wanted a change of pace. I'd just been working at Buy a Gift, I wanted a new challenge. So saw the ad and thought, that's something I don't know anything about, let's go and have a look. Went and met Romain at MIS and we got on really well, and the job sounded good, sounded like something I could do, but it also sounded like I'd be coming in and building something rather than just joining a team that's already established. I could actually feel like I was, part of it.
And what was the role, the entry role?
Sales manager.
Straight to sales manager?
Yeah, because I'd done a lot of sales before, so it was transferable skills. You just go in and just learn what market research is. And if you can understand what an IR is and how to work it out, it's half the battle, so especially in quant.
What was your initial reaction to the company, the industry, the whole sort of research? Like when I came into it, it was kind of like, what is this? What was it like for you?
Exactly the same. So I was there 2 weeks and they took me to the Impact show. Had a stand, so me and Romain were talking on the stand to everyone walking past, And I'd been there 2 weeks, I didn't know what the industry was. They're asking me a bunch of questions. I was like, I don't really know the answer, but let me check. So I heard Romain make some conversations, answer some questions, and I just kind of remembered what he was saying.
Yeah.
And then I got through it, managed to actually get a client on the day to start a project that day.
Yeah.
So ROI straight away, and I was like, this is amazing. These people are really cool. It's fun, it's interesting. So I was hooked.
Do you think that's because you mentioned you heard what he was doing, and you were able to sort of what's the word? Not steal, but sort of like mind meld and take it for yourself.
Yeah.
I find like that's how I've learned everything. I just see someone else doing it. Okay, all right, let me give it a try.
Yeah.
Are you the same?
Yeah, well, in sales, like way back when, you learn a script, you know exactly what to say and what's going to come up. It felt like that. I felt like I was learning the script from Romain of what I need to say about the company, about the panel, and the questions they might ask, what I could say back. So I was just kind of, just absorbing it all and regurgitating what he was saying.
Yeah. It's a skill set though, that's a gift. I think, it's only a certain type of person. I think it's something that can be learned, I guess, but some people just have that naturally.
Yeah.
Like you tell them something once and they've got it,
Yeah.
So, alright, so talk me through the progression then at MIS.
So MIS started to get bigger. So when I joined, there was 2 people there already, so I was the third. And then they went up to about 10 people gradually.
There was only 2 people when you said, whoa.
Yeah, there was Romain, and then there was a guy that was running, there was like a side business to MIS called Marketest, which does like startup and university research, a bit cheaper, a bit simpler. And he was running that side of things, Romain and then me. So Romain was trying to do some sales, but he was also trying to build a company. The French side of the business was doing really well, and they needed a UK presence, so that was where you came in.
Was this the first time you'd worked in like a startup culture?
Yes, yeah. Every other company I've been in, so for instance, when I was in financial services, there was 100 salespeople, and I was the only girl, and it was a Shark Tank, it was Wall Street, most people didn't last a day, I was there quite a while, it was horrendous, and I would never go back to it again. But I've seen all avenues of sales.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so this was.
You hear a lot about that tech. I didn't know it's the same. And that's crazy.
Yeah, I was working in the city, and everyone was just doing really well, and then they just want you to do badly. They don't want you to succeed.
Literally,
so
snake pit, not Shark Tank.
Literally snake pit. So that's not something I wanted to stay in forever, but it was a good experience.
Okay, so you moved from that big, as I say, snake pit, I said it, into startup culture, and thrived. Like I'm, as someone who's doing a startup, I've seen the chaos. A lot of people don't like it.
No.
A lot of people don't like it. It's like, this stress and this, the uncertainty. But how did you manage that? How did you feel about that? Was it?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if it was a startup and like my job might be gone in a few months if it didn't work out, that would be one thing. But it had the backing of a massive office and side of the business in France. So I knew that the collateral was there. I knew that I'd be safe as long as I was doing my job, doing well. I could actually help build something quite massive. So that was the thrill, I think, going in and being like, I can really make this work. Getting involved in every element, marketing, helping them redesign their business cards, rewriting all their marketing literature because it was written by someone who is French and English is their second language. So all of these little things just kind of helped, make you feel like you were part of something rather than just having another sales job.
So, all right, so you've started there because as I came to learn about Shelley Barber, she was a beast. She was bringing in the big bucks and, be like Shelley, she's a killer. How did that, what's your secret sauce? How did you get to be, what would, if you were saying there's someone who's just starting in market research, sales now, what would you tell them? What was the special sauce for you?
Just think, know what you're selling inside and out, know who it benefits and, how to speak to different types of people because there's agencies, there's end clients, there's other fieldwork companies that you can work with, just knowing where the opportunities are and just getting yourself out there. LinkedIn, going to events, making sure that people know that you're here and you're here to stay. And that's half the battle, I think. Yeah. And then just being, like you said, being knowledgeable, being personable, just making people want to buy from you because they like you and they trust what you're going to give them at the end of the day.
Yeah, just be honest, be cool.
Yeah, be yourself.
And work hard.
Yeah. I've worked with a lot of people before that are just, it's very salesy. They just want the money. It's maybe like one opportunity and then they don't care if that person comes back for repeat business. I've always been, it's a relationship. It's, I've got friends in this industry now that are clients, and that's how I'd always want it.
Yeah. Win clients, not jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, love it. All right, so you moved over to Mary. Then you wanted to come back into the quant world. Do you want to tell me about what it was like on the other side?
Yeah, so Mari was more focused on technology, which they've got in abundance. They've got some of the best tech I've seen in the industry. Like, I've not been in it a long time, but they've got some amazing offerings there. But for me, personally, I was still doing what I was doing, and it's still working on a smaller company level in the UK and having a big, side of the company in Canada and the US. So it was good, I learnt a lot, but it didn't feel like what I had before in terms of my clients, in terms of what I was offering. And I don't know, it was great, company culture and everything was great, but me and PureProfile have been talking for a few years and the opportunity came up and it was a step up, so I took it.
Yeah, I bet they're all very happy about that.
It was great to work with Nathan, who was my boss at Mari. He was amazing. I've worked with some really good people and it's kind of helped me, step up year on year in this industry.
Are you an ambitious person? It's a stupid question, really. How can I say it in a better way? Do you feel like your ambition is like above like normal ambition?
I would say, yeah, above average. I'm not this crazy person just going out, buy from me, just going mental, billboard on the street kind of thing. But I want to do well and I want to stay motivated and stay interested. And in this industry, I feel like I like it so much, it excites me. I just constantly want to be doing like the best I can, not burn out, trying hard, but doing enough to just feel, that passion and keep that going.
Well, the only reason I ask is just I'm looking at your journey, and it's like it's always looking for what else can I learn? How else can I improve? How else can I move up? And we were talking off camera about the people who are happy just to stick to the same thing. When you've got the other types, people like yourself, who are like, I want to be able to do everything, and so I'm trying to work out what it is in you, where that comes from.
I've just always been the kind of person that I don't believe in a sidestep. I understand why people do it and I understand why people need to do it in some occasions, but for me it's always been, if you move, it's got to be for the right role, it's got to be for something better. And luckily every time I've done it, it's been for something better that I can learn from, work with great people and use that to keep moving up.
From the strawberry plats all the way up.
From braids at age 9.
That's amazing. I'm going to tell my daughter, like, hey mate, you need to get your act together. Yeah, you need to get your act together.
Where you can.
She's there telling me, we've got this Go Henry app. And she's like, my money hasn't arrived yet. It's like, you ain't even, you do nothing. Okay, so what's your what's the future look like? Well, actually, before I ask that, sorry. A lot's happened the last few years in the industry overall. We don't have to go into the specific things. I think that there's been a lot of different awakenings, whether it be ethnicity, disability, women, all sorts of stuff. What's your general outlook on the industry and where we're headed? No, it's gonna be like a PCO. It's great. Like, what do you think?
I think research and just marketing and everything as a whole in the world is becoming more inclusive gradually. It's not where it needs to be, but we're getting there. When I first started in the industry, it was male, female, other. We're on a survey, and it's not that anymore. It's a lot more inclusive of all the different options that there are available. So. For me personally, I think we're growing. We're constantly looking for new technology, new things. There's going to be new developments, of course, as we go. But for now, I think it's going in the right direction and it's building at a nice pace. And it's forever changing. So it's completely different now to when I started, and that was only 5.5 years ago. So
it's only 5.5 years ago.
5.5 years ago, yeah.
I thought What have I got, like 4 years? Man, you're killing it. You're killing it. Wow. No, I agree with you. I feel like post 2020 there was like this big boom, and I hear people saying, it's slowed down. It's died out, but it hasn't really. People are still actually doing stuff. They're just not screaming about it all the time, which is great. Actually, just get on with it.
Well, the focus has changed since COVID and everything. People generally have changed the way that they live, the way that they think, the way that they, see and view the world. So research has changed on that respect as well. Even how you capture different audiences. There's not as many people out on the street. You're not really doing as much street qual that I can see compared to what we were doing years ago. So it's all relative.
Okay, look, you're the sales person. This is your chance. PureProfile.
Yeah.
Do you want to give it a little plug?
Yeah, sure. So when I first realised about PureProfile, it was a good few years ago. I only ever thought of them as having this amazing panel in Australia. And that was it. I thought, oh great, they've got an Aussie panel. I never get Aussie requests, so I probably won't use them very much. Started to get to know the guys here, and the offering over the last few years has just gone through the roof. So it's panels in many different markets now. They've got Australia, New Zealand, UK, US, Europe, Asia. It's completely gone, nuts. So they're doing a lot more. Their technology as well, the way that they're able to profile respondents, they're continuously adding to their profiles, making it really easy to get those niche audiences, and just knowing a lot more about your panelists, having a more holistic view of who they are, not just a couple of things about them or where they shop. It goes into so much detail, and that's what researchers want. They want the full picture. They don't just want a snapshot. And that, honestly, they're just a great bunch to work with.
I'm so glad to hear that they're actually profiling the important stuff.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about all this diversity stuff. For the longest time, the answer from panels has been, but we didn't ask that, so we don't know. No. So that's really interesting. Yeah,
you can definitely get a better view of the respondent and what they do and what they look like online and all that kind of thing. Just give that option to your clients as well. Say, we've got all this extra information about them. We think they'll be good for this. It's just... Yeah. It's just more informative.
And people will hit back with, you shouldn't be collecting the data if you don't need it. It's like, in my view, if you're being transparent about what it's being used for, and it's for a good reason, whether that be we want to include more people like you in research, or it just means if you tell us this, there's more chance of you actually getting it because we can pre-select you. Yeah. Why would they not?
No, exactly.
I think it's I won't say excuse. Okay. Yeah, I feel like including more and more people in research is like, I've got this habit for hiring respondents actually, and I feel like the more different types of people we can get to actually participate in research, there's going to be a percentage of those who are like, this is great, I would love to actually do this. It's almost like a backhanded. I wanted to ask you kind of more about childhood. So after you said you went to boarding school.
Yeah.
How? Why? Is there a story there? Or?
Yeah, that's the story. So I went to normal school, like secondary school, for about a year, and then my parents decided to tell me that they were moving to the Netherlands. And I could come with them, obviously, because I was like 12 at the time, and my sister stayed behind because she was 18, so she got her own flat. Went to the Netherlands, amazing. Went to the British school there. It was very much like an Americanised school. You go to your locker after every lesson. Your uniform was pretty cool. It was just like a t-shirt jumper. It was really fun. Everyone there seemed to be from like the US or loads of different countries, but they didn't want to go there and learn Dutch within 3 months and then go to the Dutch school because that's just pretty intense. So I ended up going there and staying there for, I think I was there about a year. And then my dad's job couldn't pay for it anymore. They decided they weren't going to pay tuition anymore, and it was very expensive. So they decided to send me back to the UK to a boarding school in Winchester. And it was cheaper. They didn't have to pay for my cost of living because I was living there. And it felt like they didn't want me anymore. So it felt like I'd done something really wrong. And it took me a while to kind of get over that because I was only like 13 at the time. So I went to boarding school in Winchester, flew back to the Netherlands every weekend at one point because I'd only just started and I needed that, needed that support. And then it was the best time of my life. I've got a best friend for 21, 22 years that I met there, and it was amazing. It was a really nice school, really good people, got good grades from it because I probably focused a bit more than I would have done in the one in Holland as well.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot.
Mm.
I can imagine like that, and maybe I'm projecting because I've got similar experience, but that sort of feeling probably, how can I put this? Have you ever sort of had like identity crisis?
I don't know. I kind of feel like at times I've been all over the place, didn't know what I wanted to do, where I was going, who I am in a sense.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Very much so. And then there's times where I feel very privileged because I got to, people in the lower years as I moved up in school, they were like my little brothers and sisters, my little sisters because it was a female only boarding house. But the ones that were older than me, again, they kind of like were big sisters. They used to look after me. And you get to know people of all ages, even the staff there, get on well with them. It's just having that real chance to just get to know loads of different types of cultures,
Different types of people.
ages, and just get on with everyone. And it makes you grow up pretty quick.
You grow up quick, and it's also something like you must be quite strong to be able to deal with that. Well, you've had to. You've had to become strong to deal with that. So I guess you can look at it and say, I mean, maybe there's, that experience is partly why you're the resilient go-getter. I can smash through anything because of what you've been through.
I'd say so. And also my sister moved to Thailand, and I used to go out and visit her when I was quite young, like 21 kind of age, and she used to take me to the markets and she would haggle her butt off to everyone. She would not pay full price. She wouldn't even pay like half of what they were asking. So she used to just haggle so well, and I think that really helped me because now, even in life, like with my broadband, with anything, I get the best deal I can because why not? And that's the salesperson in me, but I don't want to overpay.
Yeah.
It's the same with people I work with. I'll get my clients the best possible deal that I can because I'd rather them, if they've got a tight budget, I want to be able to help them. So
if you can get them out of a tight squeeze, they'll remember you for next time.
Exactly.
So it's in the DNA. Then your sister's a haggler as well.
Yeah. She's the boss, so learned it from her.
Yeah. Tell me some stories from. Or do you have any stories from like the boarding school, from Thailand, like any crazy stuff?
Some I probably won't be able to tell you, but the ones I can.
Bleep out or just trim it if it's too much.
I think, like anyone that's been sent to boarding school, I had a rebellious stage where
I can imagine.
Where you kind of feel like you're off on your own, you can do whatever you want. Me, the girls at the boarding house and people at school decided we wanted to start going to a few kind of bars and stuff on the odd occasion. Obviously you can't really do that when you're in boarding school, so you sneak out the window.
But you can't drink at boarding school?
No, you definitely can't go out to bars and stay out till midnight when you're underage. So I used to sneak out occasionally with some of my friends and sneak back in, and they never knew, well they probably know now, but they never knew that we used to do it. It was just part of, it's almost like being at university but a bit younger, so you feel like you've had your uni days. So that's another reason I didn't go to uni, because I felt like I'd already done that and I'd already been away from home and fended for myself and had some experiences like that. I didn't want to then go back and do it all again.
But was that because you didn't have a subject that you wanted to really study and go?
No, I did.
You did?
I wanted to do law. I really wanted to do law, but I remember I had a boyfriend at the time, didn't want to leave him, didn't want to leave home because I'd been away from home for so long. My parents had come back from the Netherlands, so I was living back with them. I just kind of didn't want to go and do that again. I don't know why I wanted to go straight into work. I wanted money. I didn't want to have to study for another X amount of years. And it worked out well for me because starting off young in sales, I was able to kind of build my career up.
Yeah, a good resume, I think, is going to be better than a degree. Yeah. But that's maybe me being biased because I don't have GCSEs.
You've still done really well, so it's not always about grades, is it?
Yeah, I don't think it is about the grades.
No.
So you've skipped past uni. Everyone else is going uni.
Mm-hmm.
You've gone into sales.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Well, actually, I don't think anyone who's watching will be as surprised as I am that you was a party animal from back then. Talk me through becoming a brand ambassador for a research club.
So, the research club's been going for a lot longer than I've been in the industry, but when I first got into the industry, I was taken to the research club, and I just couldn't believe it. It was like an episode of Cheers. You walk in, everybody knows your name, everyone's like, hey, coming up, giving you a hug, and they're just like the nicest people ever. And I'd never been, they didn't know who I was, and they were all just super nice, really welcoming. And I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, people let their hair down, but they're still having a good chat, and you know, you obviously get similar types of people going to these kind of events, and we're trying to get more people that haven't been to the research hub to come. But it's just so welcoming. It's just one of those places you feel like you're going to know everyone. You can have a nice, you know, relaxing environment, drink, and just catch up with people you don't see very often. Yeah. So I've always gone since, like, I think second week I was in the industry. I went after the Impact show.
You've just been religiously since.
And I think there was about a year where I didn't really go very often. I think I was moved away and things like that. But yeah, it was just getting back to it and just trying to help them spread the word, get new people to come along, and just
what can you share? Do you have, like, what are the plans? How you?
That would be telling, wouldn't it? No, we've got some ideas, got some things up our sleeve for next year. How to really kind of increase not only awareness, but getting, you know, younger people in, getting new, fresh faces, because we love, you know, the old ones. We love the ones that have been coming for years, but it's nice to just get some fresh people from the industry to see the event and check it out. And
you know, it's like there's agencies out there that are just in a bubble. You know, like when I started at Indiefield, I was there for like, 3.5 years, something like 3 years. Never went to one event. We had our own drink ups and all this sort of thing, and loads of, you know, company stuff. Great at that. Company culture was lovely, but never went to one event to go and meet the industry. So when I moved, I'm like, whoa, there's all these people.
Yeah.
And I wonder how many other companies are like that. And these people are just siloed, don't know anything about this whole network of people. Yeah.
I went to one of the MRS events for the younger people. I can't remember what it's called, and more, I think it's called. And you had to be, you know, a certain age, or you had to be in the industry less than like a few years. So you had to be kind of fresh meat. And I went there. I felt very old because everyone was like 21, and they're just all like research assistants and things like that. But it was really cool because they were like, "Oh my God, you're doing so well, and you're so fresh in the industry." And I was like, "Yeah, but you know, that's you as well. Just kind of mixing with different people, seeing what they're doing, what they're about." And a lot of people don't have that opportunity because some of the other events are quite expensive. Their companies aren't going to pay for them to go. So we're trying to work out a way to try and get those younger people in that want to mix with other companies and want to find out more about the industry, but they probably don't have the budget, or they're not going to get sign off from their companies because other events are quite expensive.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's really good for the industry. Really, really good for the industry. It's
a really fun industry, and just knowing people from different sides, client side, agency side, just having those conversations, it's eye-opening because you just don't get to do that usually.
Eye-opening is the word.
Everyone's very different. Everyone sees things very differently.
Very different. Yeah. Very different. But I've got some questions for you actually. It was one I really wanted to ask you. So I haven't slept much, so I'm like just like a butterfly or a moth right now. You work in fieldwork like me. I'm collecting the funniest fieldwork stories.
Right.
What is the weirdest, stupidest, like most bizarre thing that has happened in your career? Or if you can't think of the most, then just one that comes to mind.
Okay, one that comes to mind, I was at MIS and one of my project managers was testing a survey, and all of a sudden all I could hear was moaning and groaning, and it was a porn video was part of the survey. So
wait, what?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was for or why, but there was just like a segment, maybe like a minute video in the survey, and I was just so shocked.
Can you do that?
I don't know how explicit it was. I can't remember the context of it. I just remember that there was this slight porn element to the survey. And I can't remember how we got around it or what happened. happened, but I just remember that small little snippet of being like, oh, what's going on? Are you watching porn at work?
Poor guy, man. He's
Yeah.
there working.
He was
It's
so-
not me, honest. It's not me, guys.
He was so embarrassed.
Oh my god, I've never even thought of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that people do ask if that's okay, and you've got to kind of work your way around. As long as you're inviting people, telling them exactly what's happening, there's explicit content or there's sensitive content or anything like that. I think there's always a way, but it's a little bit niche.
That's pretty niche.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's funny. I can actually picture it. That is funny. So, any other stories?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
To be honest, that one's cold.
Yeah.
That one is standalone.
Yeah, because I haven't been in the industry that long. I'm probably 2 or 3 years in, and most of the surveys were pretty generic. If I'm honest, you don't really see that much coming across your desk that you're shocked by. There's sometimes the odd topic that is a bit weird, but this one was
I've got stupid stories like fleet managers, and we hired managers in fleet. Stupid shit like that, but not porn in surveys. That's a good one. Jesus.
It must have, from memory, it must be pretty soft porn. I don't think it's anything too crazy, but still, having your morning coffee and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can imagine you'd be sitting there like, don't say the name.
No.
But is he? So, okay. Any last words? I'm joking, but
Final thoughts?
No, not final thoughts. I want to know your vision, if you have one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going with the flow, you're gonna say maybe. But what is your vision for the mark that you want to leave on the world, on the industry?
Do you know what? It's nothing major. I found a career and an industry that I really enjoy. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing and being happy doing it. I don't want to run major companies. That's not me. I like sales. I like people. I like being at kind of the level I am. So I'm just happy to do what I'm doing and potentially stay with PureProfile as long as possible because they are an absolute great bunch.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
That is like the zen, I think, that everyone is looking for.
Yeah,
Behind every person who's striving, it's like they're looking for that forever, that forever place.
Yeah.
And you
they're
found
looking
that.
for home, yeah, and I feel like I found it.
That's brilliant.
Cheesy.
Cheese.
So cheesy.
Very cheesy. Look, Shelley, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. New offices.
Do you have any last little shout out you want to make? Or?
Shout out to all my homies. No, just literally great industry. I've met some amazing people and I'm sure there's more to meet, so looking forward to it.
Well, you're one of them.